Welcome to the River City, Richmond, Virginia, a place that South Georgia Tormenta has not won since 2020, but they're going to need all 3 points tonight against the Richmond Kickers as they sit in 7th, just 4 points out of the last playoff spot. This match tonight brought to you by UCrops. I'm Nevada Cohen, and now let's look at the standings in USL League One. South Georgia Tormenta are in 7th, 38 points on the season, 4 points behind forward Madison, as Richmond Kickers are eliminated at 28 points in 10th. They lost to Greenville last time out, so Greenville moves ahead of Madison, so that means that Tormenta has to catch the Mingos. Let's take a look at a couple players to watch. Your players to watch tonight are brought to you by Bon Secours. And for the Richmond Kickers, it's Ryan Sierakowski, who that goal right there was scored for Tormenta. That's right, he signed for Richmond back on June 12th. Since then, Sierakowski has scored 3 goals, including this latest one for the Kickers, a left-footed strike and a first-half stoppage time equalizer last week. Sierakowski, 3 goals. The former Tormenta player will look for his 4th against his former club tonight. As for the Bon Secours player to watch for Tormenta, Mukwele Akale, who scored this stunner of a free kick last week and hit the Cristiano Ronaldo celebration afterwards. And Coach Cameron talked about that free kick goal. He says that Quell practices those free kicks every day, and it's no surprise he went and did it. Mukwele also has scored 4 goals in his last 5 matches. He is a man on a mission as Tormenta look to complete their mission in making the postseason. The defending champs need to get some wins, though, and that starts tonight. They need 3 points on the road at Richmond. They haven't won there in 3 years, but they'll look to turn that around tonight. We'll have the rest of the pregame show when we return from Richmond. You're watching USL League One on ESPN+.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
So we've decided to sell the house.
Oh, yeah? Who's your realtor?
Well,
home for sale, home for sale. Over here, guys, over here. Only $10.
Where do I find comps? What is incumbents? How do I escrow?
Here's what I found for Scarecrow.
actually, I've been meaning to ask who you and Paul worked with.
Welcome to Royal New Kent Golf Club. Designed by world-renowned architect Mike Strantz, Royal New Kent's a one-of-a-kind Irish-style golf course located 20 minutes east of Richmond, Virginia. Royal New Kent was featured in Golf Week's top 100 public courses in the country. Hidden behind grassy knolls and hand-stacked rock walls, each hole offers several playing options to fit a wide range of abilities. Visit royalnewkent.com or follow us on social media for more information on tee times and rates. Remember, come to Royal New Kent Golf Club to Golf Ireland in Virginia.
We would not have a business today if it weren't for the support of the many, many people within the Richmond community. To me, we're working as a team to enhance the quality of life for all residents.
It's about being the best that you can be. It's about enriching the lives of people in your community. There's a reason why we have the tagline Nourish, because it's really about nourishing the lives of the people that work for us and the people that we serve. That's what the UCrops brand stands for.
Welcome back to Richmond as the pregame show continues between the Richmond Kickers and South Georgia Tormenta FC. That's the match tonight, presented by UCrops, as the players and mascots walk into City Stadium, where the series will come to for the first time this season. The first 2 matches these teams have played this year were at Tormenta, and the first one went Richmond's way, a 3-1 win. Richmond scored 3 first-half goals, with goals from Nathan Ani, Justin Suko, and Emiliano Terzaghi. And then the next time they faced in May, again at Tormenta, a 1-1 draw, with goals from Akoto, and Suko. We'll have lineups in just a moment as the Richmond Kickers look to make it 7 points this season against Tormenta. Tormenta looks for a win against the Kickers. So starting lineups for both sides. Apologies for the delay in getting you the lineups, but for South Georgia Tormenta, looking at their lineup real quick. Pablo Jara in goal, Nick Akoto starts, Preston Kilwine in defense with Dalton Knutson, Deshaun Nembard, Chris Heckenberg, Tobias Otieno. Returning to the starting lineup is Keziah Sterling for Tormenta. As for the Richmond Kickers, 2 changes for Richmond from last week as Joao Gomiro returns to the starting 11 for Richmond. Beckett Howell gets his second career start. And Matt Bentley returns to the starting lineup for Richmond. South Georgia Tormenta have not beaten Richmond, period, home or away, in 3 years. And they need this more than ever. A playoff spot on the line for the defending champions, and it starts in Richmond. South Georgia Tormenta coming to this match, 2 wins on the bounce. Defeating one Knoxville on Saturday 1-0 with a Mukwele Akale stunning free kick goal. As for the Richmond Kickers, it's been River City Blues lately. 13-match winless streak that has seen them get knocked out of playoff contention. They lost 2-1 on Sunday versus Greenville. There's Justin Suko, the 25-year-old from San Antonio, Texas. Suko has scored both his goals this season against South Georgia Tormenta. Suko scored the equalizer on May 27th, the last time these two faced off. Starting lineups, by the way, were brought to you by VA Army National Guard. And a big thank you to our crew for tonight. Producer Mauricio Rodriguez, replay operator Lazaro Molina, audio engineer Victoria Cosentini. I am Nevada Cullen, and appreciate you tuning in on this Saturday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern Time start. It's an early day in USL League One. Charlotte and Knoxville got underway at 5 p.m. Knoxville trying to jump over Tormenta. This is Corey. He crosses in. No one's home for Tormenta. But Knoxville's on top of Charlotte at halftime. There's Darren Sawatsky, the head man for the Richmond Kickers, his 4th season, 2022 Coach of the Year, after leading Richmond to a 14-7-9 record. They were regular season champions, 51 points. South Georgia Tormenta went on a nice little late run last season. Ended up finishing in the top half of the table, made the playoffs, and then went on to win the whole thing, defeating Chattanooga in the final. An early yellow card here for Zaka Moran. Zaka, the 27-year-old from Argentina, with his 10th yellow card of the season. Set piece opportunity for Tormenta, who have just 16 set piece goals. They aren't too reliant on them. They've scored 37 goals from open play. That's most in the league. and their 53 goals total is second in USL League One. 26-year-old from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Mukwele Akale scored a brilliant goal from a free kick last week. This one is a bit tougher of an angle and a little bit further back. So I don't think he'll go for goal from here, but he likes practicing free kicks every practice so he can knock them in with the best of them. As Tormenta look to pounce on the set piece opportunity, Akale swings it in. It's headed across frame as Tormenta can't capitalize on the set piece opportunity. Bright sun shining from that end of the stadium as we take a look at our first Greenswell Growers replay. That was Kilwine who headed it across, but not on frame. Fitch. Sierakowski, who signed from Tormenta on June 12th. Had 1 goal for them, has 3 for Richmond, 4 goals in this USL League One campaign for Sierakowski, the 26-year-old from Barrington, Illinois. I asked Coach Ian Cameron, the head man for Tormenta, about Ryan Sierakowski. He said that he left a mark on this organization, and he was a catalyst in the uptick of performances last year that led to Tormenta winning the league title. He has off-ball qualities as well as on the ball. He's dynamic, and he's a fun player to coach. I'd imagine not too fun to coach against as that rolls out for a corner kick. No, goal kick. Just a goal kick for Richmond. But I love the quote from Ian Cameron when I talked to him this week. He said he loves Sierakowski, and Neil Vinyals is another former player of his with Tormenta, but he hopes to give them a hug after the match and condolences on the loss. We'll see if he's able to do that, or if his former players can play spoiler tonight on their home ground. It is packed at City Stadium on this Saturday evening. Just 2 home matches remain for Richmond. Gomiro into the 18. Bentley, and pouncing on it is Pablo Jara. Matt Bentley back in the starting lineup, his 15th start of the season. 25-year-old from London. Nearly cashed in there for Richmond after some questionable defending from Tormenta. It's a Tormenta back line that it's been very good of late. If you consider their clean sheet last time out against Knoxville. A 1-0 win on Saturday. It was their first shutout since May 5th against Chattanooga. They went 20 matches without a clean sheet. And Coach Cameron attributes a lot of that success defensively in that match for Tormenta to the back line, because Pablo Jara had to make 7 saves in that match, but a lot of the saves were saves of shots that were taken outside the 18. Akoto. Fonseca. In from Sterling, who returns to the starting lineup after appearing off the bench last week. And Sterling, in his last 5 starts, has scored 5 goals and assisted twice. Former Tottenham Academy product. And that rolls out. Corey can't get there. So your keys to the match for tonight are presented by CarMax. For Richmond, they've got to use their energy. They have a young squad, some young players that will feature tonight. Beckett Howell making a second career start. Use the energy from those fans as well. As for Tormenta, it comes down to finishing opportunities. As Ian Cameron said, they've got to put Tormenta to the they've got to put Richmond rather to the sword. They could not in their previous 2 matches this season against the Kickers in Statesboro. Deshaun Nembhard with the throw-in, the 19th start of his season. Sierakowski comes away with it for Richmond. Bentley. Centering pass, Vignals can't get there, and it's cleared. Chris Heckenberg took care of business for Tormenta. Tormenta wearing white today with the blue sleeves. Richmond in all black. Back-to-back home matches at City Stadium for the Kickers. Ani loves to launch these throw-ins. That one is headed out for a corner kick. Corner kick brought to you by W.W. Nash. Richmond, I mentioned South Georgia having a reliance on set pieces, or a lack of one. Richmond does depend on these opportunities. 21 set-piece goals for the Kickers. That's most in USL League One. Whipped in by Hornsby. Cleared as far as Suko. He has a go. Ani with a shot, just sails wide. No trouble for Pablo Jara. So no score here in the opening 10 minutes. As we enter the 11th, Nathan Ani, the center back for the Kickers, with a rare shot. He does have 2 goals, though, this season. His first goal this season did come at Tormenta in that first match they played this year on April 29th. Pablo Jara coming off his first clean sheet since May 5th at Chattanooga. He was named to the Team of the Week in USL League One. Team of the Week goalkeeper in the league. As Corey loses out. Looked like maybe a handball for Sierakowski, but no whistle. Richmond can play on. Ani. Moran. Tries to go down center, and Gomiro ends up colliding with a Tormenta player. Perhaps just got the legs tangled up. Ani heads. Richmond, a team that loves to play with possession. 53.5. Akale. Oh, that's an impressive bit of defense from Zaka Moran. He tries a long ball down the left side, and the flag goes up. Hornsby not happy. Nice job, though, by Richmond turning defense into offense. A quick counterattack, but Hornsby just mistimed the run. Time for another Greenswell Growers replay. This was the potential handball on Sierakowski. It looked like his hand was in a natural position, though, so a good no call. Dalton Knudsen to take the free kick for Tormenta. 26-year-old from Spring, Texas, went to Central Arkansas, and last played for the Union Omaha. He was a champion there in 2021. Looking to help the defending USL League One champs return to the postseason. One matchup to watch tonight for Tormenta is Madison-Lexington in Madison. If Madison does not get a win, then that will surely help Tormenta's chance at making the playoffs. Yellow card shown to Jackson Corey, the 20-year-old Australian out of Balcombe Hills, with his second yellow of the season. Got too much of Neil Vignals. That yellow card brought to you by White Claw. And winning the free kick for Tormenta. Nice job by Akoto. Richmond owns the all-time series between these two sides, 4-2 and 6. They've drawn a whopping 6 times. Richmond winning 3-1 in the first contest on April 29th this season. May 27th, a 1-1 draw. And the last time the Tormenta actually beat Richmond was October of 2020. It was a 1-0 win here at City Stadium. But the last 7 matches have not gone Tormenta's way against the Kickers. Tormenta sitting at 38 points, 4 points behind Madison, who are in 6th. They have that last playoff spot as things stand, but this is what Tormenta did last year. They went on a late run, and they ended up not only making the playoffs, but winning it all. They had 6 matches unbeaten to end the regular season last year. They've got 2 on the bounce this season right now. Hornsby for Richmond. Kilwine knocks it out for a corner. And Ian Cameron says that the 2 is not going to get it done. They're going to need to make that unbeaten streak 5, really, to end the season if they want to make the playoffs. But there is some sense of confidence for Tormenta because they did it last year. They've been here before. Neil Vinyals, former Tormenta man, an excellent set-piece taker with the W.W. Nash corner kick. Hara got something on it, and he draws the foul. Pablo Hara, the 29-year-old Chilean. He was a part of the Colo Colo Academy in Chile. As we look at the Greenswell Growers replay, I think the Kickers were just a bit too close to Hara. This is Hara's 4th straight start. He and TJ Bush have swapped goalkeeping duties over the course of the season. Bush was the starter in the USL League One final last year before he exited late. And because of an injury, Pablo Hara had to come in and finish off the championship match for Tormenta. Nembard rolls it back. Kilwine over to Knudsen. Akoto back for Fonseca. That was into heavy traffic as Moran came away with it. Still, the Kickers drive. Moran had it poked away by Akoto, who's defended well so far today. Sierakowski intervened, but Akale latches on. He's got 4 goals in his last 5. Finds Corey. Jackson Corey with his left foot blazes it over the bar. A fine attempt from Jackson Corey. He has 6 goals, 6 assists this season. 2 matches ago, he scored the 82nd minute equalizer after subbing on late in the 3-2 win for Tormenta, who will receive a corner kick after that Jackson Corey effort. Pedro Fonseca has been on fire lately. 4 goals, 4 assists in his last 8 matches. Ian Cameron labeled him as the X factor to determine how this season will finish for Tormenta. Whips in the corner kick, and it's ousted by Richmond. Akale from Akoto. Akale, Kilwine's header, and a diving save from Palmquist. That one nearly trickled over the line. Will Palmquist, a fine second choice keeper for Richmond. And Bentley gets bowled over. Nembard takes it away from him. Akira Fitzgerald has taken Will Palmquist under his wing. Coach Darren Sawatsky said that it was trial by fire last year. They had to break him down technically and build him back up, and he's proven he's a League One keeper and maybe more. If Palmquist can keep growing, perhaps he can move on and find a USL Championship club or even a move elsewhere, domestically or internationally. But for now, seems happy in Richmond. Okoto cuts it back. Fonseca, he fell down, but no foul. Moran, and Kilwine gets to it for Tormenta. One player to watch tonight for Richmond. One player to watch tonight for Richmond is Beckett Howell. Howell making his second career start after making his first start Sunday against Greenville. Howell's an 18-year-old from Richmond. Darren Sawatsky giving his young local talent a chance to shine at City Stadium, giving Howell his second start. Could see the likes of Landon Johnson, Nicholas Simmons, Gabe Cox, all could come off the bench tonight. Former Richmond United Academy players, as Justin Suko gets a word of warning from our head official, Rashawn Clark. Assistant referees are Sharon Gingrich and Chenna Forstall. Fourth official is Kyle Averill. Sterling. Hornsby comes away with it for Richmond, and it's out for a throw. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. That was Ian Cameron on your screen, who has been with Tormenta since 2020 as the head coach, and as far back as 2019 when he was assistant coach, and then he was also head coach of Tormenta 2 in 2019. Served as the head coach at Eckerd College from 2016 to 2020. And he played and coached at Mercer. And he returns to Georgia to coach Tormenta after his stay at Eckerd. Cameron was certainly a candidate last year for Coach of the Year. Darren Sawatsky, who led Richmond to 51 points, ended up winning the regular season title and Coach of the Year. Played over the top. Nembard trying to shield Sierakowski, and he heads it to Hara expertly. So not only is this tonight a matchup between some former players and Neil Vinyals and Ryan Sierakowski that have played for Tormenta and now play for Richmond. It's also a matchup between the holders of the Players' Shield in Richmond and the holders of the USL League One Championship in Tormenta from last season. A matchup that, for the most part this year and in recent history, has gone Richmond's way. Three wins, 4 draws in the last 7 meetings between these two sides for Richmond. Fonseca. Kilwine. Headed by Sierakowski. Nembard flicks it on. And Nembard recycles for Tormenta. Only 2 matches remain for each of these sides after this one. Richmond finish at Knoxville and then hosting Central Valley Fuego. They play Friday at Knoxville at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Tormenta plays Saturday against Union Omaha, 7:30 p.m. And then on the 14th at Charlotte Independence at 7. Ian Cameron has said that each of these last 3 matches are must-win games for Tormenta, but he knows they at least, at the bare minimum, probably need to win 2 and draw 1. Of course, they would appreciate winning all 3. But if you look at the 3 matches remaining and the way Union Omaha have played lately, that's the match that they would settle for a draw. This is one that Tormenta cannot afford to do so. So Ian Cameron and his squad are ready to push forward if they're drawing late in this game. They have started on the front foot, but Richmond has looked good going forward as well. Akoto gets loose. He scored the lone Tormenta goal the last time these 2 teams faced, and he's knocked down on that one. It was a 45th minute opener just before the stroke of halftime. Got an assist from Tobias Otieno, the 24-year-old from Kenya. There's Zaka Moran, captain of this squad, making his 29th start. He has missed just 1 match for the Kickers. Knutson. Long ball. Moran defending Sterling. Sterling able to keep it in. Akoto. Fonseca. And Ani able to clear for Richmond. Heckenberg. Nembard. Otieno. Falls to the feet of Ani. He clears once more. Only as far as Akoto. Ahead for Akale. Mukwele. Chips it in. Headed away. Fonseca. Trying to cut it back. Howell urges it out of play for a corner kick. There's Beckett Howell. 10th appearance, 2nd start for the 18-year-old from Richmond. And some loud Richmond fans right behind Mukwele. Akale trying to put the visitors ahead. Fitch gets his head to it. Sterling. Corey has space, has it go, and sails it. No trouble for Will Palmquist as he rolls it for Ani. Sierakowski the other way for Richmond. Nice tap for Bentley. He crosses it in off the ankles of Sierakowski and cleared by Tormenta. Sierakowski never had a chance to react. Gomiro. Joao Gomiro was not in the squad for the first time this season Sunday at Greenville. But the 26-year-old from Sao Paulo, Brazil, returns to the fold for Darren Sawatsky's Richmond Kickers. Will Palmquist in goal, making his 9th start, 10th appearance. 25-year-old from Denver, Colorado. Went to the University of Denver. Spent his rookie season at New Mexico United before coming to Richmond. Second Howell tested and stands tall. Fonseca in for Akale. And Fonseca unable to get to it. Vinyals. He is shoved down by Akoto, and there is a booking. Second Tormenta player in the book. Nick Akoto with his 10th yellow card. His last 4 starts, he's accumulated a red card and 3 yellows. He's seeing more ketchup and mustard than a hot dog these days. More ketchup than my hot dog for sure. Mustard only. Fitch. He crosses in, headed away by Akoto. And Corey comes away with it for Tormenta. Has Akale. Has Sterling as well. And Corey bursting ahead of Gomiro. It's off of Gomiro and out for a Tormenta corner. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+, the home to the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. We're a half hour in, still no score from Richmond. As the visitors, Tormenta, look to jump on top. Pedro Fonseca takes it short for Sterling, who accidentally lets it roll past him. Corey able to keep possession for South Georgia. Heckenberg for Akoto. Actually, that's Nembard. Actually, double check, that's Otieno. Heckenberg knocked down, and a free kick for Tormenta in a curious position. This is just about where Mukwele Akale scored from last week on a set piece. Take a look at the Greenswell Growers replay, and yeah, just tripped up Heckenberg. And Vinyals gives up a precarious free kick. Ian Cameron said that Mukwele Akale practices these free kicks every day. Scored one last week, and Ian Cameron said it was delightful. This one less so. Hit with power, but didn't have the precision. And Akale cannot find the back of the net this time from a set piece. Fitch knocks it out of trouble for Richmond as Bentley wins the header. Hornsby just couldn't get it to Sierakowski, who was making the run. And Otieno goes down. And it's another free kick for Tormenta. This one they might take quickly, and they do. Tormenta having more of the possession so far, 57% to Richmond's 43. Richmond, a team that leads the league in possession with over 53% possession on the season, but Tormenta not too far behind at just over 51. Kilwine finds Sterling. Corey. Akale. Nembard. Eckenberg, plenty of space for him. Finds Corey. Looked to cross for a second. Nembard tries an interesting ball into the 18, and it's knocked out by Ani, so it's a Tormenta throw. Tormenta 6-6-2 on the road. Richmond 3-5-6 at home. Fonseca out wide. Akoto holds it up, crosses it in. The header just wide from Fonseca. In the end, it never tested Will Palmquist. Another Greenswell Growers replay. Akoto's ball was a good one, and the header was not a poor one. It was just wide of the far post. Ian Cameron, been with Tormenta since 2019. He knows the importance of these last 3 matches and the need to get 3 points. As Tormenta look for the opening goal in this first half, they only have about 10 minutes left to find the opener before halftime. Fonseca for Akale, and Moran came in there like a battering ram, but Akoto picked it off. Fonseca. Eckenberg for Otieno, who had an assist against Richmond earlier this season in the 1-1 draw, the last time these two teams faced. Joao Gomiro. Sterling for Akale. Taps it ahead. And Howell with some excellent defending. The Academy product clears. Beckett Howell said that getting the first career start last time out was something that he had been working really hard towards, and he felt great out there and did his job. I almost got an assist too, so yeah, I am really happy about it. Joao Gomiro goes down with an apparent injury, clutching at his right ankle. Gomiro was not in the squad for the first time this season, missing Sunday's match against Greenville. He had a brace earlier this year at NCFC, 4 goals, 2 assists this season. And the first-year pro is able to stay on. Long throw in from Nembard. Corey knocks it back to him, and he finds Otieno. Akoto. Knutson. Hara. Kilwine. Otieno. That was a nice bit of play from Tormenta, but Richmond takes it away. And Tormenta can't keep it in. It's a Richmond throw. Ryan Sierakowski, 2022 champion with Tormenta. Sun starting to set in the River City. Richmond kickers hoping to finish the season on a positive note. They've lost 9 of their last 13 matches and 6 of their last 7. Their last positive result was a 3-3 draw against Fuego. And it was the Academy product, Nicholas Simmons, who scored the equalizer in the 84th minute of that one. But it has been nearly 3 months since the last win for Richmond. 2-0 against Chattanooga. And here's Suko. Suko blasts it wide. He loves a goal against Tormenta. And that one was just diving away from the near post. Suko had a ton of space. Kilwine let him have a shot, didn't want to give up an easier goal, challenging Suko. And Suko, who is the only player that has scored in both of the matchups between these two sides this season, just misses doing so for a third match against Tormenta. Howell knocks it away, but it's Heckenberg who recovers for Tormenta. Corey wins the foul in a dangerous position for Tormenta. Can't watch the match? Turn on SiriusXM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SXM app. Pedro Fonseca lined up over this free kick. Ian Cameron calls him a future captain. He has stepped up as a leader this season for Tormenta. He has 4 assists and 4 goals in his last 8 matches. Nil Vignoles is the one-man wall in front of him. Fonseca's service, bobbled by Palmquist, but he still does well. Could start the counter here. Gomiro. Couldn't find Vignoles. Just mishit the pass. Nice job by Tormenta to track back and prevent a counterattack goal for Richmond. Hara clears. Akale. Otieno. Fonseca loses out. Gomiro took it away. Hornsby. For Suko, who just had an opportunity in the 18. Suko running. Tried to find Fitch. No, it's Sierakowski, crossed it in. Otieno able to clear for Tormenta. And Gomiro looks like he took an arm to the face. Kodo not happy with the call. I'm sure Akoto is also hoping that's not a card, because Akoto already has a yellow. Looks like just a warning from Rashawn Clark. Although the captain, Zaka Moran, badly wants another caution. So here's what happened. Akoto extending the arm. Not enough there for a card. Barely enough there for a foul. Perhaps just some incidental contact. So maybe we'll get an extra minute tacked on in injury time. Gomiro's been knocked down twice for the kickers. And the hosts have a chance here with this free kick to go up going into the break. It's Hornsby to take. Coach Sawatsky looking on, pacing, and exiting the screen. Hornsby swings it in. Ani's header across frame. Suko from distance, just over the bar. He has been close, and he has been on the end of a couple opportunities from Richmond. Another look at it, thanks to Greenswell Growers. Ani did well to send it into the mix. Vinyals let it roll, and Suko composed, didn't send it far from the goal mouth. It almost tested Pablo Jara. So we'll likely go to the break scoreless in Richmond, unless a moment of magic can be found just before the whistle blows for halftime. Nathan Ani and Ian Cameron has showed the yellow card. Safe to say he's not pleased with it. Perhaps talking about that earlier foul on Nick Akoto that was called and he thought shouldn't have been a set piece opportunity for Richmond. Tormenta trying to grab the lead with just 1 minute of stoppage time. Akale scored from a free kick against Knoxville on Saturday.
1 minute of additional time in the period.
This was about the time, too, as he lofts it in, and Palmquist is there. Shirley two-hands it, and it looks like we will go into the break scoreless. Unless Richmond can strike. Suko with a long ball for Hornsby. Jara chases it down. And Jara looks shaken up after that dive, holding his foot. So we won't go to the break just yet. Hope Pablo Jara is okay. Let's see what happened. Greenswell Growers replay. Jara slides in. It looks like it was Akoto who got a piece of it.
That's a yellow card to the bench for South Georgia. Fans, hold up your yellow card from
TJ Bush is available, but Jara looks like he's at least good to stay in for the final whistle to be blown. And it is halftime, 0-0 between Tormenta and the Richmond Kickers. Halftime presented to you by Simplicity. There have not been a lot of opportunities in this match. Justin Suko's had a couple for the Kickers, who look for another positive result against Tormenta, who have not beaten the Kickers since 2020. Tormenta in need of 3 points. They'll have to find that winning goal in the second half. Halftime show when we return. It is 0-0 and a close match in Richmond. Tormenta and Kickers, as Richmond and Darren Sawatsky look to keep Tormenta, the reigning champs, from returning to the postseason.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Bon Secours, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Bon Secours, primary care for the universe of you. Visit bonsecours.com/primary care to connect with the provider today.
Hi, I'm Megan Mack, president of Prospect Blue.
And I'm Jess Barnes, Director of Business Development at Prospect Blue.
Prospect Blue is a staffing and recruiting firm headquartered right here in Richmond, Virginia. We serve the Mid-Atlantic region and beyond.
With the labor market experiencing historic shortages, Prospect Blue is here to help companies attract and retain key talent.
With strong relationships in the corporate, financial, legal, and medical fields, we are in a unique position to connect employers with job seekers.
It's halftime in the River City halftime show presented to you by Simplicity. And we'll take a look at some highlights from yesterday when all three top teams in the league were in action.
Friday night action in USL League One play. We begin with Greenville Triumph hosting Northern Colorado Hailstorm, and Northern Colorado Hailstorm looking to bounce back after a loss last week. Nice ball up by Robas, finding Trevor Ammon. Ammon getting it by the keeper of Greenville for his 21st goal of the season. Nice little slip ball there by Robas, and all Ammon does is finish with the right foot. He would not be done in this game, the league's leading goal scorer, but it would be Arthur Rogers, last year's Defender of the Year, looking for his 11th assist on the season, and he would find it right here. Trevor Ammon, unmarked with the header, gets his 22nd goal of the season. Northern Colorado now just looking to shut out the game against Greenville, looking for their 12th clean sheet of the season, and they would do just that. Really, the only blemish last night for this Northern Colorado side is right here, and it would be a second yellow card handed out to Marky Hernandez. He would be shown red here as he takes down the defender, and there would come the double booking. Northern Colorado now 12 clean sheets on the season, which is tied for a league best as they get the 2-0 victory over Greenville. Meanwhile, Union Omaha looking for their 11th straight win, taking on league leader North Carolina. And a nice ball here on the set piece played in. Maybe a little pinball wizardry going around as the ball bounces around, comes to the feet of Somersault. Somersault can't get it by, but who does? It's none other than Raphael Mintz again, who scores first for North Carolina. Ball just popping around. Somersault can't get it through, but finishing at the end would be Mintz again for North Carolina. But of course, Union Omaha, they would come back and they would respond just a little bit later. This ball playing out wide by Dos Santos. He would get it on the return as he attacks the end line. A nice little soft touch over, and then finishing it would be Luis Hill. That game would finish 1-1 as North Carolina remains on top of the leaderboard here in the standings. Meanwhile, for Union Omaha, they are now unbeaten in their last 11 games on the season as we take a look at the playoffs. And we can see movement 1 through 8. We'll look at the top 3 teams. All 3 of these teams have already clinched spots in the playoffs. The question is who's going to finish as that top seed. North Carolina right now in the top spot with 57 points. Union Omaha and Northern Colorado both with 56 points each, as you have some important games coming up for these 3 teams as North Carolina hopes to end at the top of the table here by the end of this season. But 4 through 6 just as competitive. Charlotte Independence with 47 points. Greenville trying to make a run. Ford Madison as well, trying to push forward as they try to solidify that final playoff spot in that 6th position. Madison tonight taking on Lexington, so a chance for them to get 3 more points. Meanwhile, Greenville, they're going to have a tough one going against Charlotte, the team that's right in front of them in the standings. As we look at the last 2 teams battling for the spot, at 7th you have Tormenta, and then right behind them you have Union Knoxville. So they're trying to sneak their way in, and here with 2 games remaining, we could see some movement in the standings. Teams looking to leapfrog, teams might fall out of position. It's going to be a fun finish to the season here in League One as we send it back here now to news and notes from around the league.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
We would not have a business today if it weren't for the support of many, many people within the Richmond community. To me, we're working as a team to enhance the quality of life for all residents.
It's about being the best that you can be. It's about enriching the lives of people in your community. There's a reason why we have the tagline Nourish, because it's really about nourishing the lives of the people that work for us and the people that we serve. That's what the UCrops brand stands for.
Looking at the news and notes from USL League One this week, NCFC announcing the signing of 17-year-old Adrian Pelayo. Union Omaha, they have Nick Hexum entering the ownership group, part of the alternative rock band 311. And Johnny Felipe, 1 goal, 2 assists in Chattanooga's 5-3 win over Lexington. He is your USL League One Player of the Week. So he headlines the USL League One Team of the Week. Another player that's in this match tonight, Pablo Jara, is the man between the sticks in the Team of the Week. Jara with a 7-save match, the 4th time he's done that in his career. NCFC had the most with 4 players. And your scoreboard, 2-0 on Friday, Northern Colorado beating Greenville, 1-1 draw between NCFC and Union Omaha in a top-of-the-table clash. Just wrapping up, Charlotte Independence and 1 Knox drawing 1-1, which means Charlotte is in the playoffs. And Forward Madison and Lexington 0-0 at the half. And as it stands, Tormenta still 4 points behind Madison. Upcoming schedule in League One, Union Omaha and Charlotte Independence at 7:30 on Wednesday, 10:30 Eastern, Central Valley Fuego against Greenville. And the Richmond Kickers are back in action Friday, 7:30 Eastern, and they are visiting 1 Knoxville. Second half of this match soon as the halftime show concludes when we return.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus. High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
So we've decided to sell the house.
Oh, yeah? Who's your realtor?
Well,
home for sale. Over here, guys, over here. Only $10.
Where do I find comps? What is incumbents? How do I escrow?
Here's what I found for Scarecrow.
Actually, I've been meaning to ask who you and Paul worked with.
Welcome to Royal New Kent Golf Club. Designed by world-renowned architect Mike Strantz, Royal New Kent's a one-of-a-kind Irish-style golf course located 20 minutes east of Richmond, Virginia. Royal New Kent was featured in Golf Week's top 100 public courses in the country. Hidden behind grassy knolls and hand-stacked rock walls, each hole offers several playing options to fit a wide range of abilities. Visit RoyalNewKent.com or follow us on social media for more information on tee times and rates. Remember, come to Royal New Kent Golf Club to Golf Ireland in Virginia.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Bon Secours, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Bon Secours, primary care for the universe of you. Visit bonsecours.com/primary care to connect with the provider today.
Wrapping up the halftime show here from Richmond. Halftime brought to you by Simplicity. It is 0-0 between Richmond and South Georgia Tormenta as we look at the first half highlights brought to you by Simplicity. Tormenta needing 3 points. Richmond starting on the front foot. Matt Bentley unable to get a good shot away, and a good save by Pablo Jara as he's able to pounce on it for Tormenta. Then from a corner kick, punched away, and a foul against Richmond on that one as Jara was bumped into. Good service though by Neil Vinyals. Tormenta didn't have a ton of opportunities. This was one of their closest as it was poked towards frame by Knutson, and Palmquist had to dive to deny him. Tormenta did have more shots in the first half, 7 to Richmond's 4. And they had 1 on target. Richmond did not have any. They did have several chances, though, from Justin Suko, as that header from Pedro Fonseca went wide for Tormenta. There were a few yellow cards also in the first half, including on head coach Ian Cameron. Here was Suko's most impressive effort, just sailing over the bar. And your halftime stats. No goals for either side. Tormenta winning the shot battle 7-4. And 1 shot on target for Tormenta, none for the kickers, who usually dominate possession, but it's been Tormenta who's had almost 60% of the possession tonight. And we are back underway for the second half from Richmond, Virginia, as that header is flicked on and Jara picks it up. 0-0 between Richmond and Tormenta as Richmond looks to stay unbeaten in the season series against South Georgia. Akoto. Howell, strong, knocks it out of play. The 18-year-old Beckett Howell showing off his defensive ability. Howell, who made his pro debut with Richmond at Tormenta back on April 29th, making his second career start against the same squad that he debuted against. Halftime sub for Richmond, Justin Suko, who had a couple shots in the first half, exits. Chandler O'Dwyer is in. And it looks like O'Dwyer is at center back right now. We'll see how this Richmond team shapes, if they made any tactical adjustments at the half. Kilwine for Heckenberg. Bentley put the pressure on him and fouled him. Richmond kept Tormenta scoreless in the first half. Richmond have stopped their opponents from scoring in the first half 17 of their 30 matches. That's second in the league behind just Colorado and Madison. Northern Colorado and Forward Madison both with 18 games that they've prevented their opponent from scoring in the opening 45. Richmond right behind them. So O'Dwyer is back in at center back. That's where we saw O'Dwyer play on Sunday against Greenville. Suko was playing a little bit more of an advanced role. Looks like it's Moran who is taking the space that Suko was previously occupying for Richmond. O'Dwyer tries a long ball. That's over the head of Nembard. He's trying to play it off of Sierakowski and does. Nembard, the Corozal Town Belize native. He was called up to the Belize national team for CONCACAF Nations League. So he did not play against Northern Colorado or NCFC. Returned last match though. Sierakowski's pass does not find its intended target. Pablo Jara making his 16th start. Looking for his 4th clean sheet. He had a clean sheet on May 5th against Chattanooga, and then not another one until Saturday against Knoxville. And he'll try to make it back-to-back clean sheets. And if Tormenta do make the playoffs and they start and they keep playing this way defensively with a clean sheet against Knoxville, 45 minutes scoreless against Richmond, then watch out for them if they make the postseason, because they already are a goal threat. Second in the league in scoring goals, but they've also allowed the 4th most. That's been their Achilles heel this year. Akale swings it in. Dropped into the 18. And Otieno pulled down by Sierakowski. Simon Fitch, 24-year-old from Richmond, went to VCU, grew up a Kickers fan, featured for Richmond in an exhibition against Swansea in 2017 as a youth player. So he's been around this club for a long time. Fitch has also only missed 33 minutes this season. Started every game. Just one shot on target in the first half period. That was for Tormenta. And a chance for Hornsby across the frame of goal, and it rolls out for a goal kick. Hornsby pounced on a Tormenta mistake, but that one was always wide. Eckenberg didn't mean to hit it to Hornsby. He's just trying to knock it away from another Richmond player. Almost led to a disaster for Tormenta. Hornsby slows it up. Out wide. Sierakowski. And a foul against Tormenta. Free kick coming for Richmond after Gomiro went down. Otieno committed the foul. Neil Vignoles. Tormenta 2 player from 17 to 18. Signed his first pro contract with Tormenta in 2019. Led Tormenta in goals with 4 in 2020. And against his former side, whips in this free kick. It falls for Gomiro. And it's out off of him for a goal kick. Ian Cameron said of Neil Vignals that he's a wonderful human being. Love watching him, reads the game well. Have to nullify him. Tormenta was able to do that on that set piece, says Joe Gomiro. Was unable to put it on frame after a deflection by Tormenta. O'Dwyer clears. Fonseca tried the back heel. He is fouled, and Tormenta has a set piece. Tormenta take it quickly. Pedro Fonseca for Akale. And out by Richmond. Looked promising for a second there for Tormenta. 2 wins on the bounce for South Georgia Tormenta. Looking to make it 3 in a row against a team that they have not beaten since 2020. The Richmond Kickers have had their number and then some. City Stadium's a tough place to win. Wonderful atmosphere. Loyal fans in the River City have packed City Stadium for this Saturday evening clash between Darren Sawatsky's Richmond Kickers, who won the regular season championship last year, and Tormenta, who won the USL League One title last year, beating Chattanooga in the championship. Ian Cameron said that pushing for a regular season championship, that was the goal this season. His team is looking good, at least in their last 2 matches, hoping to go out with a bang this season. And he's hoping it's not too little too late. There's something familiar, though, about the way Tormenta are playing right now. They showed it last year, 6 unbeaten to end the regular season, and they got the 3 seed in the playoffs. And back-to-back wins have pushed them to 7th in the table this year, right under the playoff line. Just 4 points behind Madison with 3 to go, including this one. Madison at the moment drawing with Lexington in the 54th minute of that match in Madison. Lexington has had just 3 shots. Madison has put 4 on goal. Corey, edge of the 18. For Tormenta, it will really be about catching the Flamingos. Madison has just 1 win in their last 8 matches, and they are the team in 6th. Flamingos finished with Lexington, Northern Colorado, and Omaha. And if Ian Cameron and his side want to clinch a playoff spot, that is the team they're going to have to jump to get there. As Greenville, they have a bit of an edge with a game in hand and having just beaten Richmond. They're 1 point clear with that game in hand on Madison. They're in 5th. Darren Sawatsky was talking to John Harkes, head coach of the Greenville Triumph, and they were talking about how they just don't usually have losing seasons. So Coach Sawatsky is not the happiest camper right now, but Richmond trying to finish this season on a happy note. Fitch. For Sierakowski. First game for Sierakowski against his former club. O'Dwyer, the substitute. Back for Palmquist. O'Dwyer, the 24-year-old from Lingfield, England, making his 22nd appearance. He had made 5 straight starts before returning to the bench in this one. Ani. Off of Sterling. Kazai has been kept quiet. Tied for 4th in the league with 12 goals. Kazai Sterling, the 24-year-old from London, England. In his last 5 starts, he has 5 goals and 2 assists. Came off the bench Saturday. Tormenta hoping to get him involved tonight. They have a plethora of options for sure. Between him, Pedro Fonseca, who has 8 goal involvements in his last 8 matches, and Mukwele Akale, of course, 4 goals in his last 5. But Richmond has done a wonderful job in the opening hour of this match to keep them at bay. How much longer can Richmond hold this off? Heckenberg. Found Howell. Makoto takes it away.
This is your last call for alcoholic beverages.
Otieno for Akale. Richmond unable to clear. Sterling! Saved by Palmquist. Unbelievable diving effort from Will Palmquist. That would have been a wicked goal for Keziah Sterling. But Will Palmquist was all over it. You can really tell that Akira Fitzgerald, who is tied for the league lead in its history with 31 clean sheets, has been training him well. Gomiro from distance. That one always curling over the bar. Let's take a peek at that effort from Keziah Sterling as O'Dwyer couldn't head it free. Vignoles barely touched it, and Sterling directs it towards that far post. And Palmquist delights the home fans on that Greenswell Growers replay. Still 0-0 here in the 62nd minute from Richmond. The best chance of the night so far for Tormenta, as Corey was knocked down. Tormenta's probably going to sub him out soon. That is the reported change coming for Tormenta. Corey feeds Sterling. Fonseca crosses it in off of Sterling and out for a goal kick. Hit him in the hip. So here's the change for Tormenta. Jackson Corey coming out. Elijah Amo making his 25th appearance. Silver Spring, Maryland native. Went to Louisville, played for the Maryland Bobcats in the NISA. And the 24-year-old checks in for Corey here in the 63rd minute. The USL is celebrating Hispanic Latino Heritage Month with stories, events, and more. bringing to life this special celebration across the league. Go to uslsoccer.com/Hispanic-heritage to learn more. Gomiro. Plenty of space for him. He has it go from distance and just blazes it past the far post. My, oh my, Joao Gomiro. Why don't you? That did not miss by much. Would have been a worldie from Joao, but his attempts at a golazo goes wide and does not, in the end, test Hara. That replay brought to you by Greenswell Growers. And Vinyals is clutching his head. Richmond plays on. Amo intervened. Knutson cuts it back for Hara. Eckenberg. And Amo can't hang on. Kilwine, a clearance. And that's a deep, deep throw in Richmond's defensive half. Kids clamoring over who gets this ball. I think they sadly have to give it back, but they'll give everything they can to hold on to that select ball. Knutson finds a Koto. He scored the last time Tormenta faced Richmond. It was a 1-1 draw that time. Richmond doesn't seem too happy about this call as Heckenberg gets bumped and doesn't look like he's in a lot of pain. But it is a free kick for Tormenta. Looks like Fonseca might try to take this one, but I'm sure Akale will put a word in. Gives him a hug, a whisper. It is Akale. Fonseca's lined up over it too, though. A player that Ian Cameron and his assistant, Jordan Melia, feel that has grown the most in their time is Pedro Fonseca. But Akale, with 11 goals scored from a free kick last week. It's Fonseca from distance, curls it just wide of the post. Not the worst effort from Fonseca because of the positioning of the ball. Made more sense for the preferred right-footed shooter to take it. Vinyals for Hornsby. Gomiro. And Heckenberg. Found Otieno, but Moran took it away. And Amo latches on for Tormenta. Akale. Pokes it forward. Sterling! Saved by Palmquist. Back for Akale. Left-footed strike. Palmquist again. Like Superman through the air to deny Mukwele Akale. Well, when you're trained by Akira Fitzgerald, you can expect the best from Will Palmquist, but this was ridiculous. The initial save was good, but then Akale's left-footed effort helped over the bar by Will Palmquist on that Greenswell Growers replay. Sent in by Amo. Ball bouncing in the box, and Palmquist able to grab that one, but a penalty is coming for Tormenta. And a yellow card shown to the former Tormenta man, Ryan Sierakowski. He was signed from Tormenta on June 12th, and Sierakowski goes into the book, conceding a penalty that allows his former club the opportunity to go up 1-0 here in the 69th minute. Looking at the Greenswell Growers replay, it's a tough call. Knutson went down to earn it. Keziah Sterling, 12 goals. Can he get 13 here to potentially give Tormenta 3 points against Richmond? Slow run up. And that is true. The hosts take the lead 1-0. Keziah Sterling with his 13th of the season. And with that goal, Tormenta's playoff hopes take another step in the right direction. Just coaxing Palmquist, who just made a couple brilliant saves. Makes him dive the wrong way, and Keziah Sterling has goal number 13. That's his 6th goal in his last 6 starts. And Tormenta lead 1-0. So South Georgia Tormenta now 9 of 12 from the spot this season. Some substitutions coming after that goal was brought to you by Bon Secours. We'll get the subs to you in just a moment. As it stands now, 1-0 Tormenta over Richmond as the defending champs are at 41 points if this result holds. Unfortunately for them, forward Madison also just scored. It's 1-0 Madison over Lexington in the 69th minute in Wisconsin. So for Tormenta, the change is Tobias Otieno coming out, John Murphy Jr. in. Murphy making his 26th appearance, has 1 assist this season. Played with New York Red Bulls 2 in 2022 and was a Red Bulls Academy product. Richmond looking to equalize. Here's Nicholas Simmons, the Academy product for Richmond. And then Bentley off the bar from distance. Matt Bentley nearly scored a worldie of an equalizer. Richmond still have it. The only thing between a 1-0 Tormenta lead and a 1-1 tie at this point is the woodwork to deny Matt Bentley. But Richmond still can tie it here. Akoto does well though. And Akale can start the counter for Tormenta. Sterling turns and finds Amo. Looking for Akale, headed down by Moran. Amo sneaking up on Simon Fitch. And Howell gets out of trouble for Richmond. Richmond subbed in Nicholas Simmons for Michael Hornsby. That was their change. They made one more. Vinyals. Fitch. Amo steps in. Tormenta play the advantage. Sterling scored the penalty for Tormenta. Akale with space. Mukwele Akale lays it off. Fonseca chips it back in, and a bit too heavy. It rolls out for a goal kick. Let's go all the way back to Richmond's opportunity. Matt Bentley from just outside the 18 unleashed and rattled the frame of the goal. Other change for Richmond. Ethan Vanacourt-Decker in for Joao Gomiro. Great to see Vanacourt-Decker make his return from an Achilles injury. Simmons. Hara collects. This is Vanacourt-Decker's 2023 season debut. After missing the entire season almost with an Achilles injury, the 28-year-old from New Jersey. 11 appearances last year for the Richmond Kickers and 2 goals. Also played for the Hailstorm last year of Northern Colorado. Scored once for them in 12 appearances.
Tonight's crowd is a capacity of 6,000 fans.
Wow. What a crowd here at City Stadium. 6,000 in attendance for this Saturday night matchup, supporting their team that's already eliminated from the playoffs. Rashawn Clark comes tearing over there after Fonseca goes down. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. Free to play. Download now. Knutson to take the free kick for Tormenta. Psych, it's a Kodo. Tormenta trying to double its lead. The visitors looking for their 7th win away from home. And first win against Richmond since October 2020. Still plenty of game left. Still plenty of time in the Madison match as well. Tormenta are counting on Lexington to take something from Madison. And Lexington have leveled it. It is 1-1. So as it stands, Tormenta are just a couple points behind forward Madison. Ethan Vanacourt-Decker, welcome back to the USL. Great to see him back. Unfortunately, he is in the book now. Crowd doesn't love that. And necessary shove there, I suppose, on Murphy. Long ball for Sterling. Fights to keep it in. Fonseca. Makoto. Makoto into the 18, cuts it back. And the only one there is Vanacore Decker. For Richmond, that's their 34th second half goal allowed this season. That is most in USL League One. And it comes from a penalty off the foot of Sterling. That penalty drawn by Knutson and surrendered by Sierakowski. It was a questionable bit of defending and a call that could have gone either way, really. But Rashawn Clark decided it was enough for a spot kick. And this is a goal kick for Tormenta, much to the Red Army's dismay. There's a couple substitutes ready to check in for Tormenta. Arthur Bashua will enter, so will Kingsford Auger. He will enter for Pedro Fonseca. And Mukwele Akale will make way for Bashua. Bashua was a 27-year-old from Johannesburg, South Africa. Went to Columbia University. This is his 20th appearance. He had made 3 straight starts before this one. He has a goal and an assist. Kingsford Auger, the 24-year-old from Ghana, went to Dayton. Was a super draft pick by New York City FC. Won a USL 2 title with the Des Moines Menace. And Auger scored the winner in the 94th minute against NCFC just a couple matches ago. Auger 3 goals, 3 assists this season after scoring 7 in 2022 for Tormenta. And a change for Richmond, Landon Johnson, the 16-year-old from Chesterfield, Virginia, acquired from the Atlanta United Academy. Signed his first pro contract on the 19th of September, so that's still fresh. Congrats to him on that achievement. Well deserved for the young prodigy. We knew Richmond would feature some of their young talent tonight. We're getting to see Beckett Howe, Landon Johnson, and Nicholas Simmons all on the pitch at the same time for Richmond. Howell made his first pro start Sunday against Greenville. Coach Sawatsky said he fit in well. He's been growing exponentially. Landon Johnson became the first academy player at Richmond to sign a pro contract under Sawatsky, who was very involved in developing the likes of DeAndre Yedlin with the Seattle Sounders. And then Nicholas Simmons scored his first pro goal in his pro debut against Fuego. That was on the 30th of August, and it was the equalizer in a 3-3 draw. So plenty of young studs that Richmond can look forward to watching in the future. City Stadium will surely be cheering their names in the coming years. Amo feeds Auger. He is offside. Tormenta trying to make it 3 in a row. And unfortunately for them, forward Madison just scored a second, so it's 2-1 in Madison. That means Madison jumps Greenville, who Tormenta can catch, but they need a lot of help because Greenville has a game in hand. With Greenville's loss to Northern Colorado midweek, which was yesterday, Greenville has 43 points. Tormenta, as it stands, has 41, so just 2 points behind, but that game in hand looms large. And for the Richmond Kickers, Jake Meekum. He replaces Matt Bentley, who rattled the woodwork not long ago in the second half. Header flicked on by Bashua. Ajay lays it off. Murphy trickles through. Palmquist gets a hand to it. He has been excellent for Richmond. The only thing he could not stop was the penalty kick from Sterling. And as it stands now, it is that Keziah Sterling penalty kick that is the difference in this match. Came in the 70th minute, and it was yielded by Ryan Sierakowski, who came over from Tormenta earlier this season. Sweet turn there by Sterling, and he was fouled. Because I was like, no, let's just go. Already mentioned this all-time series that Richmond leads 4-2 and 6 draws between the two sides. Tormenta, if they can hold on, it would be their first win against Richmond since 2020. It was October 17th of 2020 to be exact, so it's been almost 3 years since Tormenta beat Richmond. Vanacore Decker is knocked down by Ajay. Correction, that was Sterling. This is Ajay. He cuts it back for Sterling. He's knocked down, and it's a free kick and a yellow card. It's against Simmons, the Academy player. And Simmons doesn't love the call. His captain, Zaka Moran, defending him. And this is a prime opportunity for Tormenta to double its advantage. Didn't see much there on that Greenswell Growers replay. But it is Simmons who goes into the book here in the 86th minute. Sterling only just gets up. So Akale's been replaced. Fonseca's been replaced. Looks like Ajay and Nembard to take this free kick. One of the two. Tormenta do not rely on set pieces. 16 set piece goals this season of their 53 total. But they've already scored once from a set piece tonight on a free kick. And this to put the game to bed. Ajay into the wall. And Vinyals wins the foul for Richmond. Tormenta is a team that loves to score goals. 54 of them this season. Came in with 53, second in the league. Their struggle point has been allowing goals. 51 of them. 4th most in the league. But for whatever reason, these last couple matches, a 1-0 win at Knoxville, or at home against Knoxville, and leading 1-0 on the road in Richmond, Tormenta's defense has shown, not the offense. The offense has done just enough. Amo has plenty of space, and he unleashes and sails it. But this Tormenta defense has been ridiculous. Shutting down Richmond tonight. Shutting down Knoxville last week. 7 shots for Richmond, none on frame. Tormenta, on the other hand, 14 shots, 6 on goal. As that bounces off for Sean Clark, our head official. I asked Ian Cameron about Pablo Jara's performance lately. He's on the brink of his 2nd straight clean sheet. He says that he's agile and quick to react, but he also credits the back line to his success lately because Jara's saves have mostly come on shots taken outside the box. He hasn't really had to do much tonight because Richmond has not put a shot on frame. So credit to the likes of Dalton Knutson. Credit to Preston Kilwine. Credit to Nembard. The entire Tormenta back line, the entire team really, has defended well tonight. Can Richmond equalize though late and spoil Tormenta's success? South Georgia on its way at this point to its 3rd straight victory. And that's a foul against Tormenta and a free kick coming for Richmond. 3 minutes of stoppage time. Brought to you by Greenswell Growers. And is this 3 minutes enough for Richmond to equalize and stop their 3-game losing streak? Vignoles swings it in, and the ball is cleared off the line by Kilwine. Jara might have helped it off the post. Once again, the Tormenta back line shows off and stands tall. That was the equalizer right there for Richmond. Nembard giving Jara a fist pump. And another corner coming for Richmond. I don't think Tormenta believes this should be a corner kick. Corner kick brought to you by W.W. Nash. Neil Vignoles against his former club, whips it in, and the ball trickles into the 18 and popped up into the air and cleared as Sterling tried to find the running Kingsford Age, but Moran tries a long ball, headed down. Really just a minute and a half left in Richmond. Keziah Sterling's penalty, the go-ahead goal. And Jara will try to keep this one in for as long as he can. Falls on it. Jara will gladly accept a yellow card if he is awarded one for time wasting. But for now, we'll look at the Greenswell Growers replay. It almost looked like it bounced off of Bashua towards goal, and then Jara and Kilwine able to keep it out for Tormenta. The save of the match for Tormenta for sure, as Darren Sawatsky can show off his control. Sawatsky's team, unfortunately, just seconds away from a 14th straight match without a win. 7 of their last 8 have been losses if this result holds. And Lexington have equalized in the 84th minute at Madison. Crucial for Tormenta's playoff hopes. Lexington helping them out against Madison, and Tormenta on the road at City Stadium have taken care of business. They needed a penalty kick, but Keziah Sterling scored it for his 13th goal of the season. That bounces off of Ani, but into the hands of Hara, who pounces on it and lays on the ball, and Tormenta are victorious for the 3rd straight match. 2 to go for Tormenta, and they are just a couple points out of that last playoff spot thanks to a 1-0 win over Richmond on the road. Keziah Sterling, the match-winning goal, the penalty kick in the 70th minute. And Richmond's losing streak is 4, as Tormenta's winning streak climbs to 3. Man of the match, presented to you by Kiter. It is Will Palmquist. Will Palmquist in goal, made several spectacular saves tonight. Palmquist, the 25-year-old from Denver, making his 9th start between the sticks. He is your Kiter man of the match as we look at some of his saves. The Impossible Pups saves of the match, brought to you by Will Palmquist. He was unbelievable between the sticks, denying Akale from just outside the 18, poking it over the goal with his hand. This one, Murphy kept it out with his left palm. Fitting for Will Palmquist. Save after save for him. Usually we just have one save of the match, but there are several Impossible Pups save of the match to choose from him. Palmquist was spectacular, but he could not save Keziah Sterling's penalty kick goal that was conceded by Ryan Sierakowski, the former Tormenta man. It finishes 1-0 Tormenta over Richmond. The post-match show concludes after a short break. You're watching USL League One on ESPN+.
We would not have a business today if it weren't for the support of the many, many people within the Richmond community. To me, we're working as a team to enhance the quality of life for all residents.
It's about being the best that you can be. It's about enriching the lives of people in your community. There's a reason why we have the tagline Nourish, because it's really about nourishing the lives of the people that work for us and the people that we serve. That's what the UCrops brand stands for.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Bon Secours, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Bon Secours, primary care for the universe of you. Visit bonsecours.com/primary care to connect with the provider today.
Hi, I'm Megan Mack, president of Prospect Blue.
And I'm Jess Barnes, Director of Business Development at Prospect Blue.
Prospect Blue is a staffing and recruiting firm headquartered right here in Richmond, Virginia. We serve the Mid-Atlantic region and beyond.
With the labor market experiencing historic shortages, Prospect Blue is here to help companies attract and retain key talent.
With strong relationships in the corporate, financial, legal, and medical fields, we are in a unique position to connect employers with job seekers.
The Red Army was fierce tonight. Richmond was fierce for 70 minutes until a Keziah Sterling penalty kick goal. 1-0 is your final. South Georgia Tormenta over the Richmond Kickers on the road to help their playoff lives live on. Let's take a look at the full-time highlights. And there were not a lot of goals in this one. There was just one. Halftime highlights brought to you by Bon Secours. And it was Will Palmquist who just made some ridiculous saves for Richmond. Miquel Akale from just outside the 18. Palmquist with his right hand says, "Not today." And another look at it. Akale and Palmquist helps it over. He would just keep making some great saves. But this one, he claimed. However, Knutson was knocked down by Ryan Sierakowski, who spent the earliest part of this season with Tormenta, and now playing with the Kickers, concedes a penalty against his former side. Another look at it as he just dragged down Knutson. And Rashawn Clark immediately pointed to the spot, showed him the caution, and then it was Keziah Sterling, the slow build, and he slotted it home. His 13th goal of the season, which leads Tormenta 6 goals in his last 6 starts. The 24-year-old London native with the match winner for Tormenta. Tormenta looking for more. Palmquist denied again. That really kept Richmond in this match, that save, denying John Murphy Jr. Here are your full-time stats. After the 1-0 win, brought to you by Bon Secours. 15 shots for Tormenta to Richmond 7. 6 on target. Richmond had none. Tormenta won the possession battle against the league leader in possession, 53-47. And Richmond had 4 yellow cards. Tormenta 3, including one for head coach Ian Cameron. But in the end, it's the Keziah Sterling goal that seals this one. 1-0, your final from Richmond in a gutty defensive performance from the reigning champs, who extend their playoff hopes with a Lexington draw against Madison. They are just 2 points off of the playoff line. I'm Nevada Cullen. Big shout out to Mauricio Rodriguez, my producer, replay operator Lazaro Molina, audio engineer Victoria Cosentini. And thanks for watching this production of USL League One action on ESPN+. Appreciate you tuning in, and have a great rest of your Saturday night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.